Should get possible.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
I,
mean,
I
yeah,
think like after seeing that, I was like, I think we'd be a year old in January. So we learned, right? Like Kyle wasn't a fit. Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's not even that you're not fit. It's just like I put too much on your plate, and then we're making some changes. I mean, nothing crazy. Like tighten up here, titles here, thumbnails here. We're doing that every day. We have that booker, Tom, who's fucking helping out tremendously now. Thank God, we have a legit booker. And again, it wasn't. Again, it's not Brittany's fault. My dad told me this when I started the business. He's like, I was like, yeah, I have the perfect team. He's like, I'm telling you, don't. He's like, you'd be the first CEO in history to start with the team and end with the same people.
Yeah.
He's like, it doesn't work like that. He's like, they might be great at this, but it's a team. So they might not be a good team player with this person. It might just not work.
Yeah.
And he's right. Like we've tried all the certain things, but we're learning.
Yeah.
So I think like for you to flourish, like the thing would be focus on tight or thick, and then focus on the goal now. Which goal now is as far as like podcasts go, it's the biggest one. It just is because it's Chris. Chris is the most famous guy that we work with.
Yeah.
So I think there's like so much value there.
Yeah.
And there's value there with Facebook and there's the TikTok and then the Reels. You can get money for Reels now on Instagram. So there's like all sorts of ways that we can monetize that you can also share within those funds that come in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like talking to Tara, like and she was like, also however I can help, let me know. Like if it's monetizing this, because when she went, having to do a deep dive in everything, she's like, wait, not monetizing this, and then she's like, I don't work with this every day. I don't have time. She's like, I can't do it. And she's like, but let me show you. So for if I have a kid, and, my page is like boom, 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 right away. That's monetizing.
Yeah.
And she's like, this, and she goes, and again, you could probably hire and outsource somebody business that does this, but unless they have the direct connections, it seems to take time.
Yeah.
She's like, so this is where I'm valuable. And I was like, oh, that'd be great to go on the page. She's like, yeah, I'm down to help.
Yeah.
So we can use her as an asset too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you mind if I just clarify, from my perspective, what happened in the series of events on Saturday?
Please.
Okay. So, the initial frustrating thing was discussing, about engagement and food conversations. So I
understand
prior to that, yeah, because I would consider those things important. But from my perspective, like, I don't want to have to argue about the basics of certain things, but like, and I also like, I like to argue, but because like, if people feel like that's all I am, or that I'm doing it excessively, I feel like I'm responsive to like toning that down or hiding that part of myself entirely if it's for some benefit, or like I see the benefit of the group or something like that. And sometimes I feel it is beneficial, and sometimes I feel being combative, like I can at least justify it to myself. And from the outside, I understand that, there are several different ways to look at my behavior or interpret like the tone and how I go about things, but it is something that like as I'm doing it, I am thinking about it, and it's not really an impulse, and I'm making, from my perspective, careful choices with words so that I might maybe pressing something, but I'm not trying to spill over into actual rudeness or insult or anything like that.
I don't think it was I don't think it was an insult. I think it was rude. I just think because she doesn't, we've never met her. So I don't think it was rude. I think in the traditional business world, it was a little unprofessional, which is, and she's from that world.
Yeah.
So when she responded the way she did, which I didn't think was too bad. It's not like you were making fun of her or nothing. You were just, it was like, I think she was just taken kind of off guard, because I think you're talking about big boy. You're talking about the personal, without giving her context. I think she's like, whoa. So I think that's where she was triggered.
Yes.
But she's not, if she was working with us for like 6 months, we had a relationship, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But with her, like I don't know her, and she's trying to offer help, and I do. Oh fuck! But in hindsight, looking back on it, I still wish you didn't do it. I get why you did it. I think, and again, it's because we've been fucked over by how many people?
Yeah.
This Gage kid, complete fraud. You know what I'm saying? Like, that thing never worked.
Yeah.
At all. Who else? We've been fucked over with so many people. They make all these promises. The fucking dark web team with the Reddit, just basically stole.
Or the guy from Facebook, like, that was immensely frustrating to be like, I'm making this. And that's like
which guy?
our contact at Facebook. No,
I know.
Because I'm like, they're telling me I'm wrong.
I know.
And I'm going, here's the case that I'm not, and then being ghosted. And during that process, I was making sure to go, now, like my account where I can see, like I just got another fucking restriction and I can't collaborate. Like I see like how, in part, how that works. And I have 50 fucking strikes. And I remember at the time looking at in yours and not seeing any. Now, the other scenario might be that
That's what I said to her.
If she has contacts at Instagram, I'm going, are you seeing something that I can't? Because otherwise, am I crazy or
And
what?
I think that's why I got so out of hand, because I just gave you like the basic, like you said, the engagement is 0.3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Compared to the average account is 3%. But the context in that, again, you and her, that is of an average account, not an account with 1.3 million followers.
Yes.
So she's saying, like, in order for you to maintain this, like, it's not active enough. You guys should. And then she goes, it's also, and she goes, this is the algorithm of Instagram. And because she used to work, she says that the algorithm can change pretty frequently. So that's why I think it happens. So she was saying, like, the engagement, it depends on the algorithm. Some months it's less is more. Some months you got to do it to stay current. And she's like, and that's one of the reasons why you're shadow banned, I guess she was saying. But because for a while, I was in, like, before you came, like, I was barely active. Like, especially when Kat left, I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So then it was, like, not that active. And then that's what she said. She said they're not strikes like normal civilians, she said, would get. They're strikes that, according to their inside team, is going to do.
Yeah.
She's like, and I can see which ones are, and I'll get rid of them and delete them.
Yeah.
And then you got to stay off for, I think, 3 or 4 days, which we're going to do, I think, after this week. Like, I'm going to go dark for the week next week.
Yeah.
And she's like, and then you won't be shadow banned.
Yeah. And so this is all, if it's, I assume it's true, but like if she's going to those lengths to describe the process or like inside information. But that's extremely interesting to me. And like, I'm very curious, like, can you define this? So if I'm pressing and going like, hey, like interesting, like in my mind, I'm going to find about a hashtag. And that's like this much, difference. Great. Put that aside. Like, can we get to the point? Like, we've been waiting to find a solution, and then you came to me and you're like, this guy finished the shadow ban. I'm like, cool. What are we talking about here?
I know, but remember, she doesn't have the context. Yeah. Like, especially in that chat.
Yes.
Like, I should have been like, and again, I get where you come from. You're defensive of me, which I appreciate. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always told you this. You're ride or die. Like, I love that. But she doesn't have those contexts. So when you came in defensive, she was like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Like, this is Mark.
Yes.
And,
and I understand that, and I think I did a thorough job over-explaining that to her.
Yeah, she was, they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even Tom Stuckenberg, he's like, I talked to Mark on the phone. He's such a nice guy. Like, and I told him, I was like, and I told Tom, like, you got to realize, like, we've been through some shit, man, and like everyone's, especially Mark, has been closer to it. Like, he's really sensitive to this. And I said, so am I. And it was just out of context with what we were talking about. I was like, but if you talk to Mark, you'll understand.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, this doesn't seem like Mark. I'm like, it's just, it wasn't the right time to do it.
Yeah. And again, because of coming off the heels of a private conversation or the group chat before that, I was basically being told, hey, you're wrong about this. And then I'm asking for clarification, and you're like, it was like, we'll talk to Air about it, right? But when I'm being told I'm wrong about something, I believe I'm right. Like, that's one of the situations where I go, now I feel like I have permission to, like, not concede. Whereas normally there's many scenarios in which I can put, like, my sense of being right aside and, like, do that, but then when it's being like, hey, you've done an insufficient job based on this, and I'm going, well, are we clear on what the basis is?
Yeah, I didn't
You
get
know.
context there, and then I'm also coming off a conversation with Tara.
Yeah, and I know, like, the engagement thing, again, it's that number makes sense to me when you look at the average of your posts, like, when you add together likes, comments, shares, stuff like that, like, it is at this lower percentage that compared to the norm, and this is something I think about too with my own, like, you know, when you look at accounts that are, like, really pop, it's like somebody have 100,000 fucking followers and, like, 100,000 likes, and it's like, how does, like, and I, you know, it's this, like, but also Instagram does favor certain accounts, like, you know, it's like, if you get on this explore, like, there's almost like a rhythm of, like, they, you know, I've seen chicks that fucking Bradley helped out with that. How the fuck is this, 100,000 likes in a fucking hour on a page that has 150,000 followers, like, what? So I'm saying, like, how do you fucking push through this thing, and, but if there isn't an official action there, like, I don't think any of that stuff, I could be wrong, I don't think any of that stuff matters on top of that. So it's like whenever people tell me like these little tips, it's like, great, for a normal account,
Yeah.
that's great. For this account, which seems to be this fucking dark hole mystery, you know?
That's what I told her.
Yeah. And so, again, I understand that my language and approach is risky in that scenario and perhaps even inappropriate. But like, and I think you've explained that you understand like why I spoke like that, especially considering that it was sort of like, it's like I get that I didn't like walk away and come back with different energy from the previous conversation. So I'm just going, let me transplant the same energy into this conversation.
No, I get it.
And then, you know, it also kind of like hurts or feels like it adds an element of misunderstanding when this person, you know, cries and it's, you know, she's a mother of two and like you just can't, like, so I'm left feeling like, well, I have an explanation for it. Now I'm being painted as a villain and, you know, that doesn't feel fair to me, but I didn't feel like anybody wanted to hear the explanation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now you're very open to it, which I appreciate. But, you know, I assumed, knowing that now you can work backwards and go, because of that, I'm on edge and going like, man, it seems like there's been a series of things where I'm sticking up for like the truth or what I believe in or you specifically, you know, to cut through potential BS. And it might be misguided to ask for a reward or validation, but it also like hurts more when you feel like you're punished for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get that. Again, I think you and I were out on a different wave, and then it just got Tara. It was the, you know.
Yeah.
She was she got hit by a stray bullet.
Yeah, but I also hope that it's like, because again, the last thing that I would want is for there to be a perception that like I can't take accountability or try to rectify a situation, or will be pointed something out and then it's like you did something wrong. And even if I completely agree or disagree with it, like I'm gonna go, well, if that's important to you that I rectify it, like and I probably would have anyway.
I know you would have.
You know, but it also, you know, so there's a mix of things. It's like, well, I'm gonna do this because it seems like it's important to you, and I also feel morally it's right, you know, to apologize to everyone on the team or go out of my way to reiterate that they can address me with, you know, any sort of notes and or criticisms, or just ask me to do anything in general,
and
that I'm committed to not being combative in those situations.
Yeah, I think I told you on Saturday, like, when we got done, I was like, where's Mark? And like, he left. I was like, what the fuck? And so Brian and Frank and Sam left, and I gathered the team here, and I think I told you on Saturday night or Sunday, like, they all had your back. I was like, all right, Mark left, you know, we're a team, like, what's the decision here? Everyone had your back. Everyone was like, you know, the unanimous decision, like, sucks Mark left, like, that's not cool at all. Hope that never happens again, and, you know, we don't like that part, but we do think he provides, you know, an asset to the team. Everyone. What? You provide Bapa. Yeah, and even Mike was like, as fast as he learned that software, like that editing software, like, that's unheard of. Like, if he was able to focus more.
The Bapa Files. Part dumbass. Okay, first and foremost, never thought I'd have to say this, but we've got some legal notes here from an individual who wants to make it perfectly clear that what he did was not illegal. This was not at Schaub's house. This wasn't a public thing, and it was done for a reason. And there's statute of limitations because this is from years ago. All right, got that out the way. Yeah, I had to do that for my client. That might not be as crazy as you people think. More on that coming up in the future, but more of the Bapa files. By the way, Mark just sent me a whole bunch of new stuff this morning that I still got to go through. So we might have to live stream and go through some of that before I put out a full video on it. But in this one, all right, so I had to ask homeboy because there was some stuff in here that wasn't making sense. So most of this is Schaub's going off on the dark web team. By the way, Harley told me Schaub just kept referring to them as that because I'm like, why are you keep saying the dark web team? Like, but in normal conversation, why don't you just say the group of hackers I hired? But he's like, no, that's how dumb Schaub is. The dark web team. But they're going on about Schaub reaching out to this lady to help him because he's been shadow banned. Specifically on Instagram. And so I asked Mark, I'm like, why are you even having this conversation? Because it's weird to me. Because it sounds to me, Schaub has not informed this woman that he has bought bots. Hence, that's probably the reason why he's shadow banned. So she can give you all the advice in the world, but if you don't tell her the real reason why you're shadow banned, she can't really help you. And Mark confirmed, no, he never told that woman that. So that goes into just how redacted Schaub is because, like, Schaub isn't the only person to buy bots, but when people do it, they, talk to their team. Like, their teams know this is being done. Like when Howard Stern, the WikiLeaks, the infamous, town hall meeting that he had where he instructed his staff to make up fake profiles on Twitter and tweet at celebrities to try and get them on the show. Like, but internally, he told the truth to his own people as for the strategy going forward. Schaub is laying down strategies by not telling the truth to people. He's like, we got to deal with this shadow ban, B. How are we going to deal? It's like, dude, you bought bots for everything. That's why you're shadow banned. So maybe we have to ask the lady, how do we get around the shadow ban after you buy bots? Because she's just giving you advice on how to get out of a regular shadow ban. Which, even if it works, you're going to get shadow banned again because you keep doing it. The D'Elia thing is odd to me. Because he admits that the biggest show is the Golden Hour. And D'Elia is the biggest. And yet, he still picked up and moved to Texas. And at first, he wasn't even going to be on the Golden Hour anymore. But then decided to zoom in. But in the beginning, when they first moved to Texas, Schaub was off the Golden Hour. So he went all in on the Fighter and the Kid, knowing the Golden Hour was the biggest, because this is from years ago, which is so odd to me, which makes me think he is in such financial trouble that he needed to downgrade and to dip out to Texas to get out of some bills and stuff, because he's getting sued for not paying that lease. The whole thing behind the scenes, hearing this idiot once again caught up in the minutia of things that don't matter in any way, shape, or form. Oh, B, we're shadow banned. I don't know why we're shadow banned. I mean, I've been buying bots, and that's the number one reason why you get shadow banned. But it's beyond me. I'm hiring experts. And the dark web team, the obsession with the goddamn Reddit, and how heated he is because he got ripped off that little part in there. When they admit they ripped them off and stuff like that. By the way, that's part of the new stuff Mark gave me. We'll go through that because we got visuals with that and lists and keywords. Oh boy, that's gonna be a whole thing. We'll get into that later. But as far as this, there's more audio. Like I said, with the entire thing, I'm probably just gonna throw up. Well, no, I don't want to throw up. I don't drink anymore. But I'm probably just going to put up the entire thing without me talking or anything. The over an hour just on my other channel. You know what my other channel is. And I'll probably just throw it up there sometime this week. And throw on your closed captions and everything, people. But, I mean, Bapa's empire has been crumbling. You got to remember, people, this is from years ago, what you're listening to. He knew then, and he did nothing. And the body's in the bunker. Area 51. But, yeah. But let me know your thoughts in the comments.